I knew I was going to college, but I think I only knew that because that was like the option that my like family and people around me were presenting me with. I didn't like really have a clear understanding of what life would be like if I like just got a job right out of high school, or if I traveled or just did whatever right out of high school. So I feel like I had like blinders on in a certain sense, but I'm glad I went. I mean, it was amazing 4 years. And I knew I wanted to go somewhere in-state just because of like the money scenario. So yeah, it was between Colorado State University and University of Colorado. So I applied to them both. I got into both, and I ended up going to the University of Colorado. Partly because it was closer, but then also partly because it seemed better in general. You know, I don't exactly know what made me make that decision, but there was just something that was pulling me towards that. And I instantly just loved college. I mean, like, when you're enrolled in a college, you've got all of these resources, like, at your fingertips, you know? Like, even though it's not, like, no one says you can do this, I would go sit in on, like, anthropology classes because I was interested in it. I would sit in, like, mythology classes just to, like, learn about it. You know, I wouldn't do it, like, every week, but, you know, every now and again, I would just go and, like, sit in on a class, and nobody would question you because you're, like, a kid who looks like he should be in college, and I was in college, I just wasn't enrolled in that class. So I loved all the information that was constantly around me, and so I was learning a whole bunch. I think because the whole world seemed like it was very open at that point, like I could study anything I wanted to, I could ideally build a career on something I'm interested in. That's really when I started to realize like I am interested in like almost everything. Like the entire world fascinates me, and almost everything anybody does is fascinating to me. And it took me like a good year or two of being really torn and being really interested to actually like come to a consensus about like, okay, I know I can't study everything, I can't major in everything, like what do I really want to major in? And that's still like kind of what I was saying before about community. That's still like a really tough thing to do because like there's so many awesome things happening in the world, and there's no way one person can be a part of all of them. And so you have to try to figure out what makes you feel most alive, what like fits into your values and like what fits into your lifestyle, and then just make the most of those. But yeah, that's like a constant struggle. So I studied philosophy and evolutionary biology. Ended up leaving philosophy and minoring in evolutionary biology, and then joining the business school. And then I ended up not getting my minor in evolutionary biology, so I graduated with a bachelor's in business administration and entrepreneurship, which is really, like, it's a very general major, and I think it's been really helpful for me, like, working with people, because I studied a lot of, like, leadership theory, and within that I studied a lot of, like, social theories. But I think a general trend in my life is that since I do like being involved with so much, it's really hard for me to want to specialize in anything. And that's how I feel like my studies were. It's like I never really dove like head first into any one thing because I knew I also wanted to dive into that thing and this thing and that thing. Yeah, so I don't feel like I have any specialty that I can like really lend to anybody other than my like vastness of experiences that may to some people seem like very surface level, you know.